Welcome back. We are ready to continue and end the next 2 hours. Our next speaker is Maricela Messner. Maricela is founder and CEO of Messner Leadership and Development. She is my most amazing friend. She has been my coach, my mentor, my friend, my shoulder to cry on. She is just an amazing, amazing person. She has helped me discover new strengths that I didn't know I had. There have been times where I lost confidence, and she's helped. God has used her to help rebuild. Even throughout organizing this event, she's been there. And she is an amazing coach and a mentor, and I love her. And that's what we do. So, let me introduce you to the great and amazing, wonderful Maricela Messner.
You guys get to be my paparazzi. Self-confidence. Where does that come from? When we were kids, even your youngest kids, they don't hold back. They are exactly who God created them to be. There's no fear. What are the 2 fears that children have? Falling. What else? There's 2 fears. The kids. Losing a parent. But they trust everything. Take that step and just keep walking. But somewhere along the way, life just has a way of taking us. And slowly we begin to retreat into ourselves. When we're kids, we're fearless. I have a little boy. His name is Seth. When I left home, he wanted me to take a little piece of him. In his little heart, he thinks if I have something like this, it reminds me of him. What he doesn't realize is that as a mom, there is nothing that takes the fact that I have a son away from me. It doesn't matter how things go, where I end up. A part of my heart is always with him. The irony is he has 3 wolfies. One wolfie is the size of, right from the podium all the way to here. And he has one that's about mid-sized that he carries to his grandparents' house when he spends the night. And then he has this that he takes to school in his backpack. Before I left home, he put it on my backpack. Here, Mommy, I want you to know, here's a part of me that stays with you. My topic today is self-confidence. Why I chose self-confidence is because it's something that you have within you that sometimes you don't even realize that you have. Society wants you quiet. They want you to not say anything, not to challenge the status quo out there. They want you to just, because there's other things that are competing, other things that are more important. What's more important? Racial biases, Me Too movements. Because if they can do that, then you're not important. It's about the cause. That's what's bigger, that's what's greater. But deep within you, you need to recognize that there's something unique, there's something amazing that allows you to be confident. And my role here today is to give you permission to be confident. You don't have to ask anyone. When you get ready, and we may not not like the shape of our nose. We may not like our hair. Why? Because someone said, oh, I don't like curly hair. Oh, I don't like straight hair. Who are the experts? Who made them the experts and said, oh, bad hair is out, or curly hair is out, straight hair is in, skinny's in, fat's out. You notice that whatever the theme is changes with the season? It's whatever society, and that's what they want you to do. Because if they can tell you what to think, if they can tell you what to do, then you lose sight of who you are. A few years ago, I had faced a 15-year career in corporate America. Very accomplished. I shared with you guys how my mom brought us from Mexico. Huge sacrifice. I left home when I was 18. I was the only girl in this family of 4. I had a tough upbringing. My mom, she wasn't there. She was absent. It wasn't because she wanted to not be there. It's because it's what she had to do to provide for our family. Because if she didn't do that, then we wouldn't eat. My dad died when I was 14. So she had to figure out her own way. When she left to go to work, guess who had to be mom? I had to be mom. Does a kid know anything about being a mom?
Not really. Just what you saw.
And she was never around. But there were 3 boys that were counting on me. I had to figure out how to cook, how to clean. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff. We had my dad that joined us for a very small period of time. Long enough for him to get diagnosed with cancer and die. And I remember one day he came home after work, and my mom, of course, was working. And it was a very painful memory. Most of my childhood memories are very painful. But I remember coming home. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I'm playing out in the yard. He's angry for some reason. Don't know why. Drags me in the house. Your place is in the kitchen. Your mom's gonna be home soon, and you need to be fixing dinner. I didn't know how to fix dinner. I don't know if that's the first time that I was told that that was my role, but I remember just beating me. He just beat me. He must have been angry at something. My aunt came over because she lived a little bit up the road. She saw me crying. Mari, get the bustle. Mari, what happened? Tia, my dad hit me. Mija, pero por qué? Daughter, why? Tia, he says, I need to learn to cook. I need to take my place in this home. Tia, I don't know any of this stuff. My mom's at work all day. I don't know what to do. My aunt embraced me. She said, Mia, I'm so sorry. She said, but you know what? I'm gonna show you how to make beans. Come on. She took me in the kitchen. She said, sometimes we don't get dealt the life that we want. But you know what? When that happens, you figure out how to get past it. She took me in the kitchen. She showed me how to separate the beans, how to wash them, how to put them on the stove, how to cook them. Sometimes our family members, they don't have a clue what our family life is like until they walk into a situation and they see a child scared in a corner, crying, not knowing what's going on. Because we give this perception that, hey, everything's fine. We go to church. We look cute when we go to church because our mom tried to figure out how to give us Sunday best. But my aunt was heartbroken because supposedly when my mom left my dad, he had changed when he came to the U.S. He was a different person. He was no longer on drugs, but he still had the anger, the behavior, the rage. Even though he was here, he was still the same person. So that didn't leave. And when my mom wasn't around, if the kids didn't do what we were supposed to do, he found a better way, because he knew that way. If I beat these kids, then they're going to do what I need them to do. So we grew up with fear. He had a whistle that till this day haunts me. Because when you heard that whistle, somebody was in trouble. When you heard that whistle, it didn't matter where you were, he was coming and somebody was in trouble. I know God, and I know He's merciful. And I can honestly tell you that when my father died, a part of me was thankful. Till this day, my brother can't talk about his childhood because of the rage that a man had on him, because his life wasn't the way he wanted it to be. And he didn't have the drugs anymore. He was away from his family in a new country trying to figure out how to provide for his family. And so what did he do? He took it out on his kids. And his wife was always working. He worked too, but it wasn't like her, because she felt the responsibility of the household. So that's what I grew up with. What I do remember, though, is inside of me, I always knew I was different. I knew that I was destined for so much more than where I was. I'd look and I'd see my friends. Because even though I was Hispanic and I grew around other Hispanics, I wasn't like other Hispanics. Okay? My best friends in school were all white. Because there was something that they had that I didn't have. They had loving parents. They went on vacations. They went on trips. There was this world that I would see that I couldn't have because of my situation. And a part of me envied that. And I couldn't wait to get out of my home. So at a very young age, I started recognizing that I was different. At the age of 18, I met a recruiter who said, hey, again, they're smart. They know that there's something unique, something different. They read into what happens at home. He shows me the paperwork. And he says, you should join the Army. Why is that? Well, guess what? Full ride through school, you get to get out of this home. Because he knew it was bad. I said, where do I sign up? You think I asked my mom if I could join the Army? I said, okay, where do I sign up? How do I do that? Let's get you the test. Let's get you tested to see where you qualify. I came home, hey mom, guess what? I'm gonna be 18 soon. And I'm gonna go in the Army. Before that, when she knew I had it with my situation, she threatened me. She said, you know what? You're never gonna get out of this house. I will kill you before you leave this house, and drag me from one end of the house all the way to the other end. Who do you think you are? You're gonna stay here. There was enough bitterness in my heart that I knew I couldn't stay in that house. And even though later she regretted it, because she wasn't a vengeful person, but life, having raised 4 kids, working in a factory where she painted broomstick candles, grabbed them by the handsful, and would put them in these carts. They would come in from China, Japan, and their job was to paint them different colors. A woman is doing a man's job with these broomstick candles. And it was about production. That was her world. When she clocked in at 6 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, that was her world. Broomstick candles, fumes. She'd come home, smell like paint, dinner. That was her world. She died in my 30s from breast cancer because of the toxins that she ingested for all those years to provide for her family. So when she became a different person and she had that rage, it wasn't because that's who she was. It's because that's the toxins ate her brain. Her body, when they finally found her tumor, it was the size of a melon. And it was because It burst from her breast. Her breast opened. When my niece was playing, she hit her, and the skin opened. Because all she knew was, I got work to provide for this family. There was no hope for her. At that point, we didn't know anything about cancer, so what do? Okay, doctor says chemo radiation. Let's try to get this. She went from being this vivacious, vibrant person, because she was always in the Word, she was always a Christian, but there's always a dark side to us Christians, because we're struggling, we're sinful. So she used to praise God, do her thing, and she would repent. Like, she never would hurt us, so that it was always out of anger, because something else was going on. As they dripped the chemotherapy and the radiation, I lost my mom. She was physically sitting there, but she was shell-shocked. PTSD. A woman that was vibrant would sit on a stage and speak to women and encourage them. And all of a sudden, drip by drip, chemotherapy, radiation, began to eat a little bit of her. And all of a sudden, she retreated to be this woman that I didn't even recognize. Mind you, I had left home because I couldn't live in that situation. I was no longer going to be a maid. I was no longer going to be my brother's servant. So at a distance, hey Mom, I love you. Here, I'm sending you money, Mom, because that's not my role, is to be with you. So she signed up for chemo radiation, did all that, because that's what the doctors tell them. If you're going to get better, this is what we're going to do. It got so bad, my brother calls me, hey Marty, something's wrong with Mom. What do you mean? She's getting treated. I'm naive, I don't know anything about cancer. And she tells me, Marty, I don't feel like myself. I think I even lost God. It's like, Mom, how do you lose God? Mija, I can't praise him the way I used to. I don't know what's going on. Okay? I was an accomplished professional. I was in corporate America. I had a corner office, 6-figure salary. I didn't have time for my mom. But something in my soul said, you know what? I gotta make time for your mom because she's not gonna be around very long. So I made the commitment, flew to Texas, went and got her, brought her to where I was on the East Coast. Couldn't believe her when I saw her. I'm telling you, it wasn't my mom. It was somebody they pulled out of a concentration camp. Skinny, no hair. She wasn't my mom. This is a woman that was always there, always ready to encourage me. That wasn't her. I lost her. I remember going to another town from where I was living, and we went to this little store, and right next to this little store was a church. She heard some praise. What, Mom? What, Mom? Mija. She points to this building next to this little discount store that we went to. Look in the window. Iglesia. She opens the door, goes in, sits down, and she starts praising God. It was God's way of telling me, you want to see your mom back for a little bit? You give her the Holy Spirit. Help her find her first love. For the short period of time that I had her, I got to see a glimpse of that every single time she plugged into worship. I got to see her come alive. And it was God's way of showing me that it didn't matter how bad I thought stuff was, that there was always hope in Christ Jesus. Not too long after that, she lost her battle to cancer. In our lifetime, we will see many people that are affected by cancer. What is cancer? It's a disease. It's toxicity. You look at each other and you think you're healthy today. You wake up tomorrow, and guess what? Something in your body decides it's time for cancer to manifest. When I saw my mom die, I said, oh, I'm gonna get breast cancer. Because she died of cancer, it's gonna get me. That story played in my head. As soon as I could, oh, doctor, my mom just died of cancer. Can you check these breasts out? All of a sudden, religiously, I'm going to have them check for breast cancer. I'm 30 years old. You're not even supposed to do a mammogram until what? When you're what? 40 plus. But I'm panicked because my mom got cancer, she died of it. It's gonna get me. All these stories you tell in your head, they're gonna manifest because you're gonna welcome them. Religiously, I'm in the mammogram every year. Oh, you know what? We need to go and we need to do this test and that test. My part-time job was fighting off cancer, but at the same time, I was welcoming cancer. The whole time, in the back of my mind, oh, I'm gonna die of cancer, I'm gonna die of cancer, I'm gonna die of cancer. Fast forward 2 years ago, I felt a lump. And I said, wait a minute, this isn't normal. What's going on here? I go to a breast specialist. She does a biopsy. Oh yeah, there's definitely a lump there. She does a breast biopsy in her office. She gets the results back. Oh, no, it's fine. There's nothing wrong. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, I go on my merry old way. Something in her spirit and something in my spirit just didn't sit right. So she gives me a call probably a month later. You know what, hon? Remember that bump that what do you think about that? I'm like, okay, first of all, the doctor's calling me later, kind of with regrets about what just happened. And something my gut said, you know what, doctor, that bump probably shouldn't be there, so you're a surgeon, right? So why don't we go in and schedule to get that taken out? She's like, yeah, I was hoping that you'd say that. She schedules the surgery. She takes the lump out, just the lump. I go to do my follow-up. I'm sitting in her office. She opens up my chart. For the first time, she's seeing the lab results. Mind you, she did the lab when she did the surgery. The results come to her office. Somebody sticks them in the file. She's opening it up. Oh, honey, you have breast cancer and the tumor we removed is malignant. She goes into doctor mode. Mind you, I'm not expecting this diagnosis. It's just a follow-up to see how the surgery scar is looking. I drove myself there. All of a sudden, she starts doing the Charlie Brown talk. Wah, 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 wah. You just told me the number one fear that I have in my life just showed up. I have the picture today where she took a piece of paper and drew what type of cancer I had, what it was like. None of that mattered. At that point, all I knew is I'm ready to die, because that's all I knew about breast cancer. People who get breast cancer die. Okay, I manifested it, now it's here. Okay, I'm getting ready to die. When I left there, called my husband. He's like, honey, what's wrong? Well, honey, the doctor said I have breast cancer. What? Oh yeah, she missed the lump. It was a size 4.6 centimeters, whatever. She missed it. When she did the biopsy, she missed it. Again, this is a surgeon who's been in business for years. She missed it. So now, well, I have really good friends, and they're in the oncology business. You need to go see them. Again, I could care less what she said, because I had to deal with the diagnosis. Something deep within me didn't sit right. And I started seeing oncologist after oncologist. Oh, guess what? We can cure you because you're in a curative state. But honey, all we need you to do is sign right here. I felt like I was shopping for insurance. Oh, okay. You know what? Come to our clinic. Let me show you what our room looks like. Oh, no, come to my clinic. We've got orange juice and snacks and crackers. Oh, but if you come to my clinic, And I'm like, do you, again, it's a business. Kids treatment is a business. 3 beautiful, dynamic women oncologists. Oh, how quickly can we get you into this chair? My JMT IMC was coming up. Oh no, honey, you can't go to that. You don't understand. You're running on a time clock here. If we don't get this support in you, you're not gonna live. Part of me's like, wait a minute, the event's like in a month. Like, what do you mean? Oh, no. I've ruined enough vacations. You're not going to Florida. You're gonna be in this chair and we're gonna pump all this stuff into you and get you cured, because that's what we do. My friend, Michelle Pippin, as I'm going through all this, Maricela, something's not right, what's going on? Well, Michelle, guess what? I got a diagnosis. Well, Maricela, that's not a death sentence. Do you understand we live in a day and age where things are different now? What do you mean? Let me send you this podcast. Let me send you this book. I need you to listen to this. Okay. I begin to listen. I begin to become informed. And I start realizing chemo and radiation is the death sentence. The breast cancer is not the death sentence. The treatment, the temporary treatment, so what they do is they plug you in to chemo and radiation. They cure you for a period of 5 years. At the same time, they kill your immune system to the point that you can't fight any other disease. And then when they finally get you back up, they build your blood, there's a process. They build your blood platelets back up. They try to mask, get you healthy again. But just out of nowhere, when the cancer comes back a second time, because you can't really cure cancer. Cancer cells that are in your body dormant. We're all walking around with them. We can't tell when that's gonna happen. But if you pump you with enough chemo radiation, they'll hide, and they'll stay submissive for about 5 years. And then all of a sudden, cancer will be on the knock on the door. Oh, guess what? We found cancer in your liver. We found cancer in your back. Wait a minute. You said it. Oh, I'm sorry. We did what we could. And I said, no, that's not going to be me. Through education, through knowledge, through a brand new awareness. I said, hold it up. You're telling me 97% of the people who get treated with chemo radiation still get cancer? Why am I going to sign up for that? I saw what it did to my mom. It's not going to be my death sentence. Through lots of prayer, through lots of fasting, lots of just trying to get with my maker, he showed me the way. He connected me with a woman who is a PhD of quantum physics. She said, Maricela, come to my office. I was fortunate enough, she was close to me. I go to her office, I tell her my story, I hear her story. She's like, Maricela, you're in luck. 12 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are. And guess what I did? I decided I wasn't gonna fall in line with these doctors and do what they wanted me to do. She was in the service, they were asking her to get out because she was refusing the standard protocol. So she gets out of the service, goes to this clinic in Phoenix, heals herself from cancer through all holistic detox, supplements, emotional healing, therapy, an entire protocol. So as she's sitting across from me, she's giving me hope that I don't have to fall in line with what everybody else says is this death sentence. And she looks me square in the face. You know what, Maricela? You can fight this. And if you really want it, you can win. Borrow my belief in you that you have everything that you need in order to fight this thing. Every part of me said, okay, I want to live. I had suffered infertility for 19 years, and all of a sudden, this beautiful bundle of joy decides to join my life. I had something to live for. He was 2 years old, and all of a sudden, you're telling me I have breast cancer? And again, subconsciously, I manifested it because of the fears that I had for it. And I'm still showing up in life, I'm still doing, but there was always this fear in the back of my mind. So now, all of a sudden, this beautiful 2-year-old is walking around. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let him see me how I saw my mom. So I gave up. Even people are calling me, oh, we need to do this, I don't need any of that. Ma'am, you're refusing the standard care. Ma'am, do you understand what this means? I guarantee you, if I was a minor, they would have taken that minor and they would have forced that treatment. I dropped out of the system. I stopped seeing those doctors. I connected with my maker and my doctor, and we began the healing journey. One step at a time, one phone call at a time, one supplement at a time, because I wanted to fight for my life. That's when my self-confidence formula showed up. I didn't need anyone to tell me what I had to do, because God already told me what I had to do. It was already within me. Too many times when we're faced with difficulty, we think we need someone else to help us figure that out. God will illuminate the path that you need to take, and He will show you, and He will give you the courage that you need to get past it. It's ironic that we choose to do life alone sometimes, because during 2 years' time, that's what I did. I lost all my friends. I had a business, closed that up, and I sat at home, and I did nothing but personal development for 2 years. That's what saved me. Joining the John Maxwell team 3 years ago, I would sit and I would listen to John Maxwell. I would listen to Paul Martinelli, Napoleon Hill, and they became this reel in my head that said, hey, you have everything you need to get past this. And when you do, you're going to use this story to help other people see their potential and their healing power. And I don't share this story with you for you to feel sorry. I share it with you for you to know that you are the voice of encouragement for someone that's going to go through something like this. You won't be able to choose their protocol for them. You won't be able to help them make that decision. What I did is totally unconventional. I am shunned in the medical community. They put my case up in front of a review board of all these high-end doctors. All of them. Get her in here. How soon can she start? Oh, we have all these drugs. And the insurance is going to pay for it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. But my little protocol that was going to cost less than $15,000, oh no, the insurance won't pay for that. We won't pay for that. But they're happy to write a check for the chemo and radiation, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Isn't that ironic? I could do a treatment that's going to save my life, that's not part of what you think is going to save my life, but you don't want to sign up for that? It's $15,000. Do you realize how much you're saving? You're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, that's not the way it works, honey. Okay. You know what I did? Cashed in my 401k. Somewhere along the way, God gave me wisdom to save it. A second time, because I cashed it in once to build my business. Cashed it in a second time. Okay, turn around and send it to my doctor, my new holistic doctor. Okay, Dr. Gerda, let's get started. God is faithful. In the last year, I've gotten multiple blood tests. When I did my last breast surgery, they took breast tissue to test it. I did a thermogram less than a month ago. Honey, there's no cancer in your body. Wait a minute, you told me I was getting ready to die if I didn't do this treatment. I believe in a God that's so much bigger than me, that has sourced me with everything that I need to be successful. Amen. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to live forever, but for the short period of time that I'm here, I am sourced to overcome whatever adversity comes my way. And I have a beautiful, beautiful little boy who looks up to me every single day. I am his world. This is where God truly shows up. I have a friend who's into yoga and the New Age. And in his little smart wisdom, at 5, 6 years old, I invested in sending him to a Christian school. My friend starts talking about her chakras and meditation. Honey, you don't believe in Jesus, do you? Well, you know what my Jesus does? My Jesus heals. At his age, he begins to minister to random people because we've shown him that there's a better way. The reason we get caught up in today it's New Age, tomorrow it'll be black magic, whatever. We go chasing something that we think is going to temporarily fix us and help us. But at the end of it all we really need is God. And we don't even need to show up in a church. God is right here. When you get on your knees in your darkest moment and you look up, your biggest drug addict, your biggest drug lord, when they're sitting at their lowest point, they don't need to walk into a church. What do? Your murderers, they get on their knees and they ask for forgiveness and they surrender. And what does God do? He redeems them, forgives every sin they have ever committed, and says, welcome to the kingdom. So that's what I want to leave with you today. To know that we serve a God that is beyond our wildest imagination. This battle, I haven't been alone. I have an amazing husband who has been with me every step of the way. A part of me felt unworthy, so I wanted to leave him because I wanted to choose a different life. What would it have been like for me not to have this husband? And God said, no, Mia, you weren't meant to do life alone. This man I met when I left in the military. My mom prayed when I left. She said, Mia, I'm going to pray for you. Every time I call, estoy orando por ti. I'm praying for you. I meet him in the barracks at my permanent duty station. This beautiful, beautiful man. He starts liking me. I'm like, oh, no, you don't understand. Guys, If I'm gonna hang out with you, it's for one thing. Because I was a young gal, and I was in the military, and I could pick any guy. He wasn't like that. Well, no, I like you, and we need to date. Oh, no. I left my house, and I don't need a guy to date. No, you don't understand. I'm from a traditional background, have good parents. You know what, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have my parents come up and meet you. You're gonna do what? Yeah, I'd really like for you to meet my parents. No, you don't know who I am. That's not my style. Okay. He doesn't tell me this, but I'm sure in the back of his mind, he was praying, Lord, here's this gal. I don't know where she came from, but I love her. Finally, when I decided to leave my lifestyle of choosing, whatever guy, God brought me to this man. Met him in the Army, 1994. In May of this year, we would have celebrated 25 years together. He has never left my side. I have wandered off in so many directions, so lost, but he has been my constant. And when I get stubborn, when I get hard, because I have a hard character sometimes, and God's working with me every single day, I'll grab my hands, honey, we're gonna pray. I don't have anything to say to God. Okay, you just stand right there, hold my hand, I'm gonna pray. When I was ready to walk out of my marriage, before we had our son, I'm not leaving, and neither are you. God is gonna fix this marriage because we committed to each other. We committed to a life together, and until God decides to tear us apart, when he takes us to heaven, I'm not giving up on you. But you don't understand. I don't love you anymore. That's what you say. But when I look in your eyes, I know you still love me. No, Sean, you don't understand. I don't love you anymore. That's what you think. But you could say whatever you want, but when I look in your eyes, you love me. What you need to start doing is begin to love yourself. What are you talking about? I need to love myself? What does that mean? I was so hurt and so sheltered from all the mess that I grew up with that I didn't feel worthy of being loved. So what I would do is anyone who would get close, I'd push them away. All my friends, the minute they start to get to know me a little bit, oh, no, you don't understand. I don't do friends like you, because all of a sudden I gotta pretend to like you, and I gotta pretend to be nice, and you're gonna get to know who I really am. And the minute you get to know who I really am, you're not gonna want anything to do with me. Well, the beauty of where I am today is my friends, they know me exactly for who I am. The faults, the disappointment, the doubt, the fear, whatever it is. But guess what? They love me anyway, and they love me through it. And guess what? Just like my husband, honey, I'm gonna pray for you. Because guess what? Once this little small season of doubt and fear gets past, I'm gonna be right here. Because I'm not leaving you. God brought you here to me, and we're gonna do life together. And that's the difference when you choose a community of people who are gonna build you up, who are gonna take you to places that you can only ever dream of. That's the beauty of serving a God that is so sovereign. You don't have to do life alone. Surround yourself with people that love you, that care for you, that help you see the best in you when you can't see it for yourself. Because when you do, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit. I want to show you my beautiful, beautiful wedding day. Maybe not. I can't get it up. The video didn't show. But just know to not be afraid. You young ladies, create the vision of the man that you want. Okay? My husband looks like my high school heartthrob. I don't know if you guys have this, the magazines when you're a teen and you go to the store and you see the heartthrob magazines. There's a picture of a beautiful young man. Until this day, that image is burned in my mind because I knew what I wanted my husband to look like. He wasn't Hispanic because I didn't want anything to do with my culture, because all I knew was my dad, and he was a deadbeat. He was a drug addict. He was a womanizer. I didn't want anything related to what my dad was. Some people say, oh, I want to marry someone just like my dad. I couldn't get away fast enough from anything related to my dad. I didn't want anything to do with that. So I created a vision of what my husband needed to look like. My husband and this image of this beautiful young man are identical. The only difference, my husband has green eyes, which is something that I had always dreamed of marrying. A beautiful man with green eyes. This other heartthrob had blue eyes, and I didn't want his eyes, I wanted green. And God gave me a husband that looked like this gentleman with green eyes. Like, that's how much God favors us. In our hearts, He gives us our heart's desire. My husband is kind, he's gentle, he's family oriented. His grandmother just turned 100 years old this past December. That's legacy. My son gets to grow up and see that, because in my heart, I knew the kind of mate that I needed for my life. And even though at that young age, I didn't know and I was naive, but the minute I saw Mr. Sean Messner, I said, oh, my mama's gonna love you. And a part of me's like, oh, I guess I should maybe give this guy a chance, because my mama's gonna love you. And sure enough, that's how God told me that he was my partner. And through a lot of just challenge, it's like, no, okay, we'll date. I'll give you whatever time and space you need, but we're meant to be together. And he proposed to me May 28th, 1994. And so we got married. And this year, we will celebrate 25 years. And it hasn't been easy. But I'm telling you, it has been worth every minute of it. And today, oh, I'm so proud of the work that God has done in my life and the work that he'll continue to do to continue to inspire other people to walk into the destiny that they've been called for. Be blessed.